Yeah, Chris, both staffs got to Tyreek Hill immediately. They both tried to stabilize his knee. They cut off his cleat and the tape surrounding his ankle to get it into a stabilizer. His mom was able to come down to the field. She bent down, gave him a kiss on his forehead, and now as you see, his teammates are coming to console him as they're about to cart him off.
The stadium froze. The silence was deafening. And then came the eruption. Tyreek Hill, the NFL's Cheetah, the man who could turn a sliver of daylight into a touchdown, suffered the unthinkable. His leg snapped in a way no fan ever wants to see. The cameras couldn't look away, the crowd gasped in horror, and in that moment, Miami's hopes for a Super Bowl run felt like they shattered along with him.
Tyreek Hill probably won't be the same player ever again. He dislocated his knee last night and also tore multiple ligaments, including his ACL. Miami Dolphin fans, I'm truly sorry. You guys get your first win and lose Tyreek Hill. Absolutely heartbreaking. Hopefully this is not career-ending and Tyreek Hill comes back, but awful news out of the NFL.
This was not just a regular Sunday injury. This was a nightmare scenario for the Dolphins, for the league, and for every defensive back who secretly feared having to chase him down. Tyreek Hill wasn't just another wide receiver. He was Miami's engine, their nuclear weapon, the player who single-handedly flipped games upside down. When defenses schemed against the Dolphins, Hill was option 1, 2, and 3. Without him, the offense loses its most terrifying element: speed that broke coverages, shredded secondaries, and turned ordinary plays into highlight reels.
This is the best matchup they could give us for Monday night. Jets and Dolphins. Two of the worst in the league, both 0-3. Nice catch, Tyreek.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh, his knee. His knee.
Makes the catch in front of Malachi Moore, but is holding his leg.
Oh, no.
Far side.
He just broke his leg. No, he actually just broke his leg.
The play itself was as brutal as it gets. Hill caught the ball in stride, defenders closing in, and just as he tried to plant and accelerate, his leg bent in a way legs are never supposed to. The sound of the break, the way players on both sidelines instantly waved for trainers, told you everything. This wasn't just a sprain. This wasn't something a few weeks of rehab could fix. This was season-ending, maybe even career-defining.
Throwing deep! Tyreek, first down? Yes, sir! Holy shit!
Makes the catch in front of Malachi Moore, but is holding his leg.
Tyreek's leg is f***ed!
Long throw by Tagovailoa. The concern is obviously Tyreek Hill has made a big impact.
The crowd, stunned for a split second, then erupted in a mix of horror and support. Chants of his name filled the air as he was carted off, visibly shaken but still trying to wave at fans. And here's the cruel irony. The same crowd that came to see electrifying speed witnessed the harsh reality of football's brutality. The Cheetah, the fastest man on the field, was suddenly immobile, trapped by the very body that once made him unstoppable.
His knee was like diagonal.
Tyreek Hill has made big impact.
They need to call a medic. They need to call a medic right now.
10, what was his 6th?
First Malik Neighbors, now Tyreek.
This is not a walk McDaniel.
First Malik and now Tyreek.
The Jets sideline.
My fantasy's cooked. My fantasy league's literally cooked. Oh, they brought the card out. They literally had to bring the card out.
Now the big question, what does this mean for Miami? For starters, the Dolphins lose the NFL's most explosive offensive threat. Tyreek wasn't just padding stats. He was dictating defenses. His mere presence opened up lanes for Jalen Waddle, gave Tua Tagovailoa windows he otherwise wouldn't have, and forced safeties to play 10 yards deeper than they wanted. Without Hill, defenses collapse back down, box up the run, and dare Miami's other receivers to win matchups they aren't built for.
He waited a long time for this. Much earned.
Look at this weird reaction.
And this is a tough one.
I think he's just trying to get through the pain. Why does he want that?
Because he doesn't want to fucking play for Miami anymore. He's kissing goodbye.
He doesn't want to play Miami anymore?
Nah, he's been winning out.
Tua's game completely changes. He went from having the luxury of tossing short passes and watching Tyreek turn them into 60-yard scores to now needing to rely on precision throws into tighter coverage. It's the difference between driving a Ferrari and being handed the keys to a family sedan. The offense slows down, the risk goes up, and suddenly, every yard feels earned instead of gifted by Hill's speed.
I know it was a dislocation. He was probably in the best spirits of any player that I've ever, it's such a terrible experience when you go out and see guys. He immediately had wide eyes and was talking, I'm good, just make sure the guys get this win.
And let's be real, Tyreek wasn't just having another good year. He was putting together one of the greatest receiving seasons in history. On pace to shatter records, his production was MVP level, not just Pro Bowl worthy. To lose him now doesn't just hurt Miami's chances, it reshapes the entire playoff picture. Teams like the Ravens, Chiefs, and Bills suddenly breathe easier, knowing the Dolphins' greatest weapon is sidelined.
The Dolphins taking on the Jets, and they got a dub over the Jets. But the biggest news coming out of this game, unfortunately, an injury for Tyreek Hill, as it looked like his knee bended in places that I've never seen bent before. It was a very tough one. He was carted off the field and clapping, screaming.
For Hill himself, this is devastating. He's built his identity around being the fastest, most dynamic receiver in the league. Now, after a leg break of this magnitude, the question becomes not just when he'll be back, but how much of the Cheetah speed will return. Players can recover from broken bones, sure, but regaining that level of burst, that otherworldly acceleration, that's no guarantee. Every cut, every sprint, every explosive move will carry the shadow of this injury.
And I want to start there with the unfortunate scene that played out with Tyreek Hill. It's, as you put it, Ben, the danger of this game is apparent on each and every play, and then you start to look at the ripple effects of an injury of this kind to a player of this caliber at this age, at this point in their contract. How do you make sense of this moment for Hill and the Dolphins?
The Dolphins' locker room, meanwhile, faces an identity crisis. Mike McDaniel's creative offense was tailor-made to unleash Tyreek's skills. Without him, does this team have enough to carry on deep into January? Can Jalen Waddle step into the spotlight and be the number one? Can Tua elevate his game without his security blanket? Or will Miami's season go from electric to tragic in a single play? The ripple effects don't stop there. Tyreek was a face of the NFL, a walking highlight reel, the kind of player networks built commercials around. Every primetime game just lost its brightest star. Fans tune in to see fireworks, and without Hill, Miami loses that national buzz. The league itself takes a hit because, love him or hate him, Tyreek Hill was must-watch TV.
How are we feeling about, one, this injury and his acknowledgement to the fans? It was almost like he was celebrating being gone. This is a career-altering injury, in my opinion. Yeah.
It is. I don't really have words for this one. Number one, Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers of the generation. I think Tyreek Hill's on pace to retire as a top 10 wide receiver, and he still might.
But what makes this sting most is the timing. Miami wasn't just in the mix. They were peaking. Offense clicking, defense finding its rhythm. The Super Bowl wasn't a dream, it was a legitimate goal. Now, the mountain gets 10 times steeper. No matter how you dress it up, losing a player of Tyreek's caliber is a death sentence for championship aspirations. Yet, football is cruel that way. One play changes everything. The Dolphins went from contenders to question marks. Tua went from leading an MVP-caliber offense to scrambling for answers. And Tyreek Hill went from chasing history to fighting for recovery.
That's got to be like a season-ending injury, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's done. His leg is backwards.
You think in like 1,000 years, we're going to look back at this like this was like the Coliseum, like people fighting lions?
Yeah, I do.
These are like the top athletes in the world,
yeah,
sprinting as fast as they can.
And their job is to try to kill you.
Sometimes they get cracked so hard it's louder than the stadium. There's 80,000 people hammered, screaming, and
Still, this is Tyreek we're talking about. If anyone has the drive, the fire, the determination to come back stronger, it's him. Fans will rally, teammates will step up, and the NFL will wait to see if the Cheetah can run again. But no matter what happens, this season is over for him. His legend pauses here, leaving us with what could have been. And that's the hardest part. The crowd's eruption wasn't just about the injury, it was about witnessing the fall of a player who seemed untouchable. Tyreek Hill's leg broke, but so did Miami's dreams, and maybe even the NFL's script for the season. Because when the Cheetah stops running, the entire jungle feels it.